Welcome on back to the Tennissippi State's Only Challenge, where we are continuing on here. Season 4, the Dak Prescott era has begun, and for the most part, it's been pretty positive. We are the 4th best passing team to start the league. We are the 5th best run defense, with a pass defense that's actually sitting about league average, slightly above, which is a good step forward of where the team finished last season. Though with that being said, we are 1-2, but that does have us good enough to be currently 2nd in the AFC South. The Houston Texans are 3-0, and it would just so happen to be we face them to start the episode. So we'll get underway at home, hosting said Texans team. They're 3-0. We were very close to starting this year 3-0 as we dumped the receiver. And on top of that, looks like an injury for one of the offensive linemen for the Texans. They do gain a 6, but as mentioned again, very close to starting 3-0. Came up a little bit short in a couple games. Nice knockout there is Emerson Jr. But opposite to what we saw the last couple years where the offense just couldn't do enough to get the team back into these games, they were staying with their opponents the first 3 weeks. However, it was the defense that lacked that final big play to pull off the win. So we're looking for them to make some big plays in this one, as Dantzler comes down to help get the stop. Now obviously, Texans in division, we faced them quite a lot. Last year, we got the better of them most of the time. Look to see that continue on as we get a pick. Nix forced it. Emerson Jr. with the pick down at the 40. We did not have him on the team for the first game last year. That one was a better game for the Texans, but in the second game win, we did have Emerson. We also have not played against them with Dak Prescott. Can we see the offense really go off? That is what we need. With a shot down the sideline, it's a foot race. Mingo to the house. One play after the pick. Your Titans have already scored. Dak Prescott with the deep ball. Mingo runs 40 yards untouched. And that is the exact kind of play we need to see here to open up this one, as our defense could get a 3-and-out as well. An opportunity here with a 3rd and 8 and an incomplete pass. The defense does their job. 2 straight drives. One heck of a punt, though. The offense starting back at the 10. Now, while I would love another one-play touchdown drive here, I also want to see the offense have the ability to be consistent, especially against this defensive front, as it's definitely not going to be a touchdown on one play. Prescott found Knox, no gain, tackled at the line. So 2nd and 10 then, as we stick with a pistol look here. Prescott in the pocket, going back to the flat, and Knox again catches it with no gain. Well, can we find something here then? Preferably at least 10. As we go 2 spread either side, we got Mingo in motion at the top. Prescott to the bottom. He has his target. That is Hyatt, a yard shy of the first. And on the following drive, after a penalty on Sam Williams, Dobbs finishes the drive. 46 yards, and just like that, we are back to a tie game. And that's exactly why we need to see the consistency from the offense. So when we grab a lead, we could either maintain it or preferably grow it. And this time, Knox does start us off actually with a gain. So improvement over that last drive, 2nd and 7. As 2 go up top, it'll be a handoff. Gainwell, he finds some space down the middle. Not running fast, but honestly, we do jump on top of it. Gainwell recovers his own fumble. And another injury here for the Texans, this time a defensive lineman. And it is Turner heading to the tunnel. That could prove to be costly here for the defensive line, though they still have 2 really good guys along that group. 2 X factors that we're going to have to deal with as they shift on our shift. Prescott up top, ball gets there well late. We honestly need to be pretty happy that Brown didn't pick that one off. Definitely could have been. 2nd and 10. Got to react a little bit quicker here, Prescott, as he rolls and throws it away. Probably won't see too much of the CPU scrambling with Dak. Maybe a little bit if we jump in, but with a 3rd and 10, we got 3 options down to the bottom. As Prescott, just kidding, the no running, he's gonna do it here, picking up 13 and the first. Nice to see him still moving around there at 34 years old. Trips up top. We've got 2 down to the bottom with an empty set. Finding Knox. Tight coverage. He holds on to it. Now we just need to get the ball a little bit further down the field. 37 more yards to find 7 more points. As Gainwell hops to the outside, he's going to pick up a nice chunk. He slips the little shove from Brown there, picks up an extra 1 or 2. He's got us 2 yards outside the red zone. As we go 2 down to the bottom, though, sending Hyatt towards the top. We fake the jet sweep. Prescott across and into the end zone. We find the remaining yards there as Knox adds 7 more to that scoreboard. That's 2 first quarter touchdowns. And as we jump forward into the second quarter, Mike Golson sets us up for another touchdown. Though the offense does still have to move the ball 17 more yards. Don't want to state that too soon. But Prescott has this offense moving, defense making some plays as it's Hyatt with a gain of 5. That puts Prescott 5 yards over 100 passing already. Still have about 2.5 quarters left to go here. As it's going to be an empty set, Gainwell motions towards the top, bunch down to the bottom. Prescott with a 4-man rush, dumps it off, Knox spins, and down around the 5. He might have had a slow start with the 2 catches for net total of 0 yards, but then the touchdown, a nice play there. Whole offense moving, and we're back to the end zone. DK. We've gotten a touchdown from almost every single one of our receiving options so far. But with the pressure on here for the Texans, can they finally put together a good offensive drive? It's been a while for them, down 2 scores inside 2 minutes. They get a nice drag here, and picking up the first down, I believe is Romeo Doubs indeed. 4 catches, 74 yards. He has their only touchdown on the day, getting a little bit into it there with Dantzler. But they're inside plus territory at the 40. Bo Nix, he has thrown a pick in this one. Hard to say he's under pressure, but the throw is off, and Emerson Jr. gets his 2nd pick on the day. That will massively make up for the fact that Nathaniel Watson just blindly ran into the backfield, didn't even watch where his QB target was running. Luckily, the cornerback did. As we're back here on offense, we find Knox up around midfield. Well, we know that we do have a good kicker in Jake Elliott, but he missed a crucial field goal week 1, ultimately losing the game for us. So that means we got to get as close as possible. That was, I want to say, a 54-yarder he missed. So got to get probably slightly inside the 40 just to make sure, as Hyatt can't squeeze it. Great play. I want to say Lannister, the safety here for the Texans, to jar that one up. Makes it 3rd and 9. We send Knox down, then back towards the top. They bring a little bit extra. We dump this one off, in DK, he is close. And it looks like both coach and myself on the same page here. Offense is staying out. We got trips to the left-hand side. Hard count, no one jumps, so no free play. And he'll end up calling the timeout there. I don't know what happened, maybe some miscommunication. But following the timeout, the offense does remain out on the field here. DK loaned to that left-hand side. He's going to come in motion to the backfield as they go a little bit of some play fake. They got DK into the flat, but great pursuit. 54 denies the first. That might take us to halftime, but with 18 seconds, 3 timeouts, Texans might find something of their own. Don't quite remember who their kicker is, though. It might get into range as Doubs can't squeeze it. Dantzler jars that one free. He seems to be around the ball quite often in this one. 14 seconds left. Bo Nix has had 2 picks in this one. Loading up deep, but no! It's a sack from Chris Jones. Houston calls a timeout there, one to let Bo Nix recover. But with a 3rd and 19, they're still trying to find some points here this half. As they dump it off, tight end slips the initial tackle. We'll get back about the lost yardage. Final timeout called, 4 seconds left. They will keep the offense out there. Can we find a 3rd pick here? Maybe 3rd's the trick to get into the end zone on defense. As Nick goes up top, it's going to be caught, but nothing to gain from it. That'll send us then through halftime, 21-7. But it is not taking long to get back into scoring range. This coming off a 29-yard grab from Jonathan Mingo. He had the first touchdown to open up the game following the first pick of Emerson. The only one not having a fantastic game so far is the running game. Has had a few good plays, but definitely lacking the consistency. As they again send Knox in that little zig motion. Dak finding but through the hands of Knox. He's made some big plays in this one. Couldn't hold on to that one. So we got a 3rd and 8 inside field goal range. Sitting at about the 25. DK now in motion. Prescott going up top, and they read that one. 26 been ball hawking in this one, and he might find himself getting caught by DK. Indeed he will be. We've all seen that before. Buda Baker look away. But for the Texans, Jair Brown with a game-changing potential play here. Texans offense have struggled massively, and they're set up inside the 10. Though it wouldn't be amiss if another interception happens to go our way, as they go back to the running game here. Good fill. Nathaniel Watson meets him first in the gap. Did have a little bit of help to clean it up. Leaves us with a 3rd and 6. As they send a receiver in motion towards the top, make it a bunch. Bo Nix, clean pocket, lofting throw, well out of bounds. So despite being set up at again about the 10-yard line, they will have to settle for a field goal, as they do manage that. But with Joshua Carty at kicker, I expect nothing but that. Our offense has re-driven down the field the following drive here. Dak trying to make up for his interception last drive, as he will find it here. No! Jawan Jennings denied at the 1. Taylor Britt with a touchdown saving tackle. What a hit. 1st and goal though at about the half-yard line. We come out with a single back set. Prescott throws it right back to Jair Brown. Luckily this time he doesn't have the sticky fingers. So 2nd and goal then. No turnover. Can we go with a run this time? We got 3 tight ends, and we do, but deny Dexter Lawrence. So we'll change up the look then on 3rd, going back to shotgun. We do still hand it off, and Gainwell ran straight to the defense. But even with an 11-point lead, we don't want to make it 14. Offense staying on out here should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Dak is rolling into the end zone. He will do it with his legs. Got us down here with his arm. A little help with penalties, and Dak will cap it off. With even more pressure bearing down then on the Texans. They're trying to push here late. They've got a 3rd and 2. Bo Nix goes play action. Plenty of time. Eventually unloads, but it hits the turf. 4th and 2 then. Do they keep the offense out there? Down 28-10. Feel like you gotta, and they will. They bring out 2 tight ends and a fullback. See if we try to clog the middle here. You got 1 receiver up top. We don't clog the middle whatsoever. Gonna be an easy rush there for Hayward. Not that he's had too many. 11 rushes, 25 yards, and heads off the field with a 1st and 10. Bo Nix goes spread empty. We bring the blitz. Just kidding, Hayward is out there. He just was down at the bottom. He gets the catch, gain of 7. Richardson there to bring him down. They're just inside the red zone. They need a lot of points here late in the 4th, and getting the 1st down there is their tight end. Bo Nix has had a very all-over kind of performance today. Some really good passes and some horrible ones that were picked, both by Emerson. As they go with the jet sweep, Sam Williams eats him up. He didn't rack up a whole lot of sacks last year, but the TFLs was around 15, maybe more. Expect to see a little bit more of that this season. As Bo Nix, that's that lofted pass, that nice touch I was referring to earlier. He gets his receiver down to the half-inch line. And Hayward does cap it off on the 2nd effort, pushes through the linebacker. Texans will tack on some points here, but they're going to need their defense to get a stop. And this is the play they need to do it on. A 4th and inches just by midfield. The goal line set, essentially a 1st down, and this game's about over. And they go fullback dive, and Foot gets the 1st down. And that would end up being the decisive play. A huge win to open up our stretch However long we go depends on what this team does. But a big win here at home, 28-17 over top of the AFC South Texans. We give them their first loss on the season. Dak Prescott, he played a heck of a game, had one mistake throughout, and it only ended up being 3 points off of it. Emerson Jr., a great game as well. I believe that would probably be your offensive and defensive MVPs. But when I talk about this team's lack of consistency, this is exactly what I mean. In the following game, we get blown out by the Denver Broncos 40-21. We give up nearly 450 offensive yards. Brock Purdy 4 touchdowns on us, completing 76% along the way. Prescott did have 3 touchdowns, 60%, not awful. Rushing game, Saquon, we held him in check for the most part. 3.5 yards, he did have a touchdown though. Gainwell, you could argue, maybe was the slightly better running back, though comparable in terms of how many touches they had. We did struggle against George Pickens. He had 10 grabs, 122. They also had Khalil Shakir, who had 6 grabs for 106. He also had the touchdown. We gave up another touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr. and to Dalton Schultz. So it really just seemed like it was the coverage that just didn't have it in this one. Our best receiver was Jonathan Mingo with 4 grabs, 76 yards. Hyatt right behind him by only 2 yards. As for where our touchdowns went, Kenneth Gainwell had one. We did give one up to Saquon. Metcalf had one with only 3 grabs. And Dawson Knox had one. His only grab of the game. Defensively, looks like we're making a lot of plays in the backfield too. Chris Jones with 2 TFLs. Pittman, Golson, Dockery all had one. Deo had one. They only had 2 TFLs, yet we just couldn't, stop them from scoring. Justin Woods had a sack. We did give up one to Darren Browning. Kicking wise, Jake Elliott did miss another field goal. And it was another one that was attempted from 50 plus yards away. So it doesn't seem like if it is going to be 50 or more that we should rely on Elliott this year. That also gives us a interesting back and forth here. Loss, win, loss, win, loss. Against the Colts, if the streak continues, you're expecting win. But we also would love another win against the Texans as we go into back-to-back divisional games. And with both the Colts and Texans above us in the standings now because of that loss, we could really use with some wins. The first quarter ends, and it is still a blank scoreboard, though the Colts tack on 3 points right at the beginning of the second. We take a lead, they take the lead. We retake it and hold it at halftime, 14-10, as we look to get through the third quarter as well. Really could use with some separation here, but it's only 1 point as we do hold them to a field goal. And 14-13 is what we're looking at as we get into the fourth. So again, let's slow things down like we normally do. First down on the rush from Jalen Wright. Gets him into plus territory as well. Thrown away Jalen Hurts. Though they do pick up 6 the next play. 3rd and 4. Defense holds them. This is going to be kind of the long range here of field goals. Looking at about a 52-yarder, or they go for it and get it. Still trying to find the lead. The field goal, though, was not good enough for them, probably because they knew they couldn't hit it. Just like we've struggled from 50 plus. They send trips now to the top of the screen. Hurts goes that way and throws it back to Hurts. Was that not a backwards pass? Maybe he threw it slightly in front. I don't know how the rules work there. If you throw it once and then throw it again, if the ball hits the floor, is that incomplete or is that a fumble? I don't know. Good stop there, though, from Chris Jones, and we got a 3rd and 9. Well, if we do get the stop with no gain here, it is about 6 yards closer than their previous field goal attempt. Bunch up top, Jalen Hurts. Clean pocket for now, though. Eventually, it collapses. They lose yards on the play and will have to punt. Now, this is where I need us to come out, put together a clean, smooth drive and run some clock. We are only up 1 point. Dak Prescott throws, not the pick. Mingo turns into the defenseman and jars it away from 34. Luckily, I just kind of had a feeling with the random scrambling Prescott was doing there, it wasn't going to be a good read, and that was the case. 2nd and 10, we make it an empty set. Prescott deep throw, tipped up, and DK couldn't find it after. Moore had to defend that twice. The offense definitely did not come out here and run this drive like I was hoping. 3rd and 10, let's try to get the first down. If we do, I might jump in to run this like we should. As Prescott does get picked this time, 34. Denied the first time. We do not deny him the second time. It's Kool-Aid McKinstry. And he's got his Colts set up inside the 20. Would love to force our own turnover here. That would be great. 14-13, 5:05 left in this one. The bunch down to the bottom, one up top. Hurts with another opportunity. Caught. Emerson not able to jar that one free. Goes as a gain of 5 inside the 10. With 2 up top, 1 below. They go with the running game. Bijan Robinson not going to get by Watson. Really clean tackle there. Leaves a 3rd and 2. Hurts looking to throw, but he gets met by Deo. Loss of 5, and it will be a field goal attempt here. This time, though, they do trust their field goal kicker. This one marked at the 18, a 28-yarder. Puts them up by 2. With 3:21 and 3 timeouts, we got to march down the field and find the go-ahead score. This is where we need to play the drive like we were playing the last one. A little bit more airing it out, finding your receivers, as Dak does there. Hyatt picks up just about 9 yards, maybe a little bit shy of that. With 2? Yeah, it looks like 2 down to the bottom. They're going to motion over Mingo into the backfield. Go with some play action and getting the first down, DK. Obviously, like mentioned, 50-plus yard field goals aren't going to be that trustworthy for us. Touchdowns are very much preferred, though I think that goes without being said. We got time for one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Quick throw through the hands there of Pollard. So never mind that one play till the warning. We've got 6 more seconds. Trips up top, knocks at the bottom of the line. As Dak will throw to Knox, who gets the catch, slips by the corner, stays in bounds. 2-minute warning hits there. And from this point, I think the team could go back to the playing style I wish we had on the previous drive, which was the slow and methodical. You just need the field goal. As we get the first down there to Knox, that's going to put us at about the extent of our range. But honestly, would probably like to get a few more yards closer just to be safe. They are letting the play clock run in between each, and Gainwell's going to gain very well on that one. Burst through the gap. Only his 8th carry, 37 total yards. But that might have just been the setup play. Colts are now stacking the interior, expecting the rush, but Pollard breaks one off. He breaks the tackle too, and the touchdown we find. Though for the Colts, that's probably the best news. Leave them some time left here, 1:11. We will not go up by a full touchdown, but we are up here in the 4th. Now we've got to rely on the defense to not break the loss-win streak. We need the win here. We'll break it next game as they start with dump off. Actually, no, that was a really bad set up in terms of blocking halfback screen. They only gained 3. Call a timeout, throw up top, good catch, but he does get out of bounds. Need our DBs, if we do give up the catch, get the tackle in bounds, make them use those timeouts. 40 seconds left here. Field goal does them no good. They do need the end zone. As Hurts drops back, lets things not really develop. He's just going to scramble then, getting ripped down. Great flow there from Pittman, the sophomore linebacker, now superstar. With a bunch up top. He does go up top and getting a few yards. It's the first down, but they need a lot more yards on these plays. Under 30 seconds left. No more timeouts remain for the Colts. They do have a bunch down to the bottom, one up top. Plenty of good receiving talent. And they find one of them here, striking down to the 20. Though again, no more timeouts. They've got time for one more play. That is certain. As he slips the tackle, they're out at the 5. 5 seconds left. Come on, defense. Gotta make the stop here. Jalen Hurts is gonna look to run. Bouncing it to the outside. Sam Williams tracks him down. Game is over. Defense protected that goal line. That was about all they protected on that drive. We get the big win against the Colts. That'll put us back above them in the division. Close game. Offense handled their business. Defense, barely. Well, that will send us straight into the next one, our second Texans game here, because we need to find these wins. If we can, we might find ourselves getting to the top of the division, though the Texans win the first quarter 3-0. We find a touchdown in the second. A lot of back and forth here. Texans take the lead at half, 10-7. Definitely get through the third quarter as well. Don't want to spend too much time on this game because we've already played them in this episode. No one scores in the third. But to start the fourth, Texans are in plus territory at the 32 with a 1st and 10. Setting up the halfback screen, they get it out there with all the blockers. The DBs will eventually come crashing on it. End up being a gain of 6. We could definitely use some turnovers here. Texans are 4-2. We are 3-3. And Nathaniel Watson with the sack. As for turnovers, I will take some sacks for sure. 3rd and 10, holding to a field goal here. Hard count, no one jumps for Bo Nix. As they will look to pass, halfback screen, and getting tracked down. Jose Dockery, though, too slow to get there. Luckily, Watson has had some very nice tackles so far today. With a 4th and 1, the offense does stay out, down the middle and through Deo for the first. Indeed, if we do find the win here in this one, we would also go ahead of the Texans in the division, and that very well could put us at the top. First time in this whole series. But with under 5.5 minutes left, we are down 3 points, and they are inside their own 15. As Nix having to bail out. Going for the end zone and touchdown. Texans take a 17-0 lead. We're going to need at least 10 points here to send this one into overtime as we're looking to break our loss-win streak here. Dak bails and he should have stepped up. It's the Texans' 3rd sack of the game and it loses 11. 2nd and 21 back in the 19. As Prescott in the pocket again, he's loading up deep, and he's got Hyatt. 30, 20, 10, 5. We've bitten back into this game. Now a field goal game, handing it back over to the defense to pick up that stop. We had to have the quick drive from the offense, and Dak found it. Just great release from Hyatt. But now again, as mentioned, it's up to the defense. With a wide open tight end, they're going to get the first down. Bo Nix having a much cleaner game in this one, we'll say. 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. We could use one of those. Bunch up top, one below. They do hand it off here. Hayward with a bunch of green grass. Luckily, Golson peels off the down the field block to get the tackle. 2nd and 2 remains and now plus territory. As they will go back to Hayward. And there is Pittman plus the other 1st round pick from the same draft in Dockery. Both were candidates for Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. It did go to Pittman. We could use any of them, any of the defensive players here. 3rd and 2 as they go back to Hayward. We're just not getting the stops on 3rd and short. And that was why we made the trade to bring in Chris Jones, to limit plays like that. We're just not quite seeing it. 1st and 10, they are at the 40. Joshua Carty could probably hit from close to this range. Nix having to bail. He throws late and up out of bounds. I'm not going to lie, I was hoping that ball was going to be a little bit shorter and we got the pick. Not the case. 2nd and 10. Bo Nix having to scramble again and going downfield, airmailing that one. Romeo Dobbs had the step, but he needed about 4 more. 3rd and 10. Got to stand tall here, defense. As they go play action, he's got time to throw, and somehow it is caught. An amazing play there from Garrett Wilson sends us inside the 2-minute warning. But it looked like Golson was there to get the pick. I don't know, lost track of the ball. They've got a 1st down. And getting to the outside, they are back up by 10. Run defense let us down massively on that drive. But with under 2 minutes left, 3 timeouts, down by 2 scores, we're jumping out here with the offense as we've got to find some big plays about as quickly as possible. Couldn't get that one out, though. Looked like they were trying to set up the double move. Just pass rush arrived. And with this defensive line, yeah, you've got to be quick with those throws. Prescott has his receiver in motion. Stepping up in the pocket, Prescott will look to rumble, and he gets the 1st down. But he coughs up the ball, and that might be the nail. Indeed, it is. So we do not break the streak. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Still not able to break that. We do not get in front of the Texans. But we have some questions that might need answers here as the trade deadline has hit. We are back into third. Houston Texans 5-2 thanks to that win. Colts 4-3. We are 3-4 as well as the Jaguars. So essentially, outside of ourselves, the whole division has been flipped on its head this year. But our concern at the start of the year was the pass coverage. And it's not doing good. Where we started this episode, we were, I think, ranked 13th. We have dropped 11 spots to 24th. I think we got to figure out something there just to try to help out that group. Run defense, despite it not looking great to finish that last game, is still a top 10, top 7 defense. So I think we got to find some more help for the secondary. Now, we already know there is not really any help we could find at the safety position. Kevin Byard was someone we could have traded for a couple seasons ago. He is now regressed all the way down to 74, and he's a backup, essentially a mentor here for our rookie that was a corner, moved him to safety, and he's having a decent year. We've also seen some decent play from Richardson, but really neither one of these safeties are really that highly rated. But I don't think it's that area that is costing this team. I think we need more help here at the cornerback spot. Dantzler has been around the ball, but he's making tackles. He's not breaking up some passes. So perhaps adding another corner to this group would help us get over that hump. And as we have already tried Emmanuel Forbes Jr., that leaves us one final option, and it very much is a veteran player. And it is a player we have already talked about, Charvarius Ward. He is 31 years old, but he would be playing the slot for us. His overall is kind of going up a little bit. He has -1 morale, but then +2 for the coaching boost. So really, he's 886 overall. Still a star dev. Cover ratings are still really good. He can tackle 74, so he can definitely play the slot. He has the press. He has all the coverage possible with the play recognition, as well as having the awareness that's close to 100. Though again, that's with their coaches, not ours. But I think if we can make a deal here, this is like one of those things that we're trying to make to push us over the edge. Now, are they up to talk at all where we're not giving up DK, a first round pick in the future? Now, that is one that we could actually use, or a 2030 first rounder. I mean, for a 31-year-old, I feel like they are asking for quite a lot. And I was hoping to use Arrington, but they have Ben Griffin, who is a star 85 overall quarterback in his second year. So he's actually a pretty good quarterback. But I've come up with our own trade, and it works out pretty well here. We're going to send them Hilton. He was bottom of our cornerback depth, but that does give them someone that honestly might even be playing for them now in the slot. We give them not this year's second, but next year's second, and that's a draft we cannot use, plus a 4th round pick even further down the line. So we don't give up any draft capital from our final draft, and we massively upgrade here at corner. And in his first game, we get the dub, 35-17, though we did still give up over 300 passing yards. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think that's Madden. I think you're just going to give up a lot of passing no matter what. Desmond Ridder, of all guys, 74% complete, though Dak, he was 84% complete. About 50 less yards, though both end up with 2 touchdowns. In terms of rushing in this one, 2 touchdowns for Gainwell, averaging about 4 yards. Pacheco averaged a little bit better. Tony Pollard did get a touchdown, might be his first? No, we did see a rushing touchdown earlier. Never mind that. Receiving, DK had a really good game. 8 catches, about 130, and a touchdown. Their best guy was Juwan Johnson, though it looked like maybe Mr. First Down was Thomas Jr., as he averaged just under 10 yards per catch. Polk did have a touchdown, and Pacheco had a touchdown. Tony Pollard, 2 touchdowns in this one, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. But I wish we had a stat here for passes given up, or yards given up, or coverage percentage won, something along those lines. All we get is pass deflections. Charvarius Ward, though, did have 2. But it would be only fitting that we would follow up that win with a loss, in which we did. So we are still trading back and forth every single week. We have not had a streak one way or the other, but we did get blown out by the Patriots, 31-10. in this one, we only gave up 116 passing yards, though we only had 30 rushing yards ourselves. So this just wasn't a good-looking game at all. Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions in this. Now, I didn't include it in the episode, but we actually had those press conferences, and Dak said, hey, their corners suck, and I think we're going to find a bunch of touchdowns on them. So I said, all right, let's get 3 combined touchdowns for both DK and Hyatt. I think Prescott threw those to the defense, because as for our receivers, they only had the 1 touchdown. Metcalf had it, though Hyatt did lead us in catches and receiving yards. But it was Deshaun Stallworth and Elijah Jones that got the best of Dak Prescott, both of them maybe playing along the outside. He also threw one to Roquan Smith. But coming off of a loss and now facing the 5-4 Jaguars, which mean we are back at the bottom of the AFC South, though it's a very tight race. This thing's still going down to the wire as the Colts 6-3, Texans and Jags 5-4. We are right behind. We've beaten the Texans once. They also beat us, so we split that series, but we beat the Colts as well. This could be a launching point for the last half of our season. And again, with the record that we've been bouncing back and forth with, a win could be fantastic. So as we are back at home, we'll jump into the first drives here for both sides to start, as it is a run and not going very far. Gain of 3 before the gang tackle. Woods involved in on it. See him rotate in there at linebacker, though looks like only Pittman in here on second, and he's involved in the stop. Though there was one more in Campbell who helped get the tackle, but they do give the Jags the first on that. It was close. 3 pulling guys, not good enough. Deo with the 3-yard loss. But the aforementioned Woods shaken up on the play. He'll head to the tunnel. We've got a 2nd and 13 then, so we're going to see a little bit more rotation at that linebacker spot, more specifically sub-linebacker. As they load up and finding the first down, Burrow to T-Hawk. This Jags team, while obviously not having the best season so far, they've been a really good team throughout. I want to say 2 if not 3-time division champion. As Burrow's under duress, he's going to bail to the outside. Pittman eventually does not even drag him down, though the ball pops out and eventually finds its way out of bounds. So Burrow catches himself very lucky on that. It's not a fumble. He was able to make it to the edge, and he's got his team inside the red zone. That's a big play. As good blocking up front, Burrow finds the touchdown. No. Charvarius a little lucky there. Did get beat, but I guess they say he either dropped it and maintained the catch, or maybe he stepped out with one of those feet prior to him coming down in bounds, and Ward. Burrow threw that straight at your face. Not exactly the best first impressions. You nearly give up a touchdown and you don't pick off the ball when it's thrown at you. 3rd and 4, can we at least stand tall here, force a field goal? They go play action towards the end zone, and we did it again. Campbell stared at Coleman when he could have easily knocked that one away, or at least picked off the ball. So I'd say a little bit of a rough start coming off that blowout loss, which saw a lot of turnovers here for Dak. Got to clean those up as we start with a running game here. Gainwell picks up 4. That also happens to be the same amount of wins we have this year. I would like to end this episode 500. Dak quick throw, got the first down, DK. We've been waiting to see big plays from him. We've seen some nice grabs, but nothing flashy. That's really come from Mingo and Hyatt, mostly Hyatt throughout this series. As DK motions up top, we go downfield and squeezing it in between the safeties, Mingo. He's been a little bit of a surprise player. Sat on the bottom of the depth chart, I want to say season 1, had a little bit of some opportunity season 2, and he's worked his way into the starting lineup here. As Prescott lofts, back of the end zone, DK didn't have it. At least that's a touchdown for both sides where the receiver just didn't make the play they should have. DK should have had that one. About as perfect of a ball as you could get from Prescott. 2nd and 10, back to it. That time it came up a little bit short. Not sure what Prescott trying to correct there. That was a bad throw on his part. That's why you got to take advantage the first go around. 3rd and 10. Prescott dumps this one off, and Hyatt just got smacked down. 41 had a great game the last time these two teams met. We'll have to settle for a field goal then here, as Elliott drills it. Well, we'll jump forward from there with another opportunity here for the offense. We're about a couple minutes into the second quarter, inside the 30. As we're going to have Knox motion down to the bottom. Just kidding, send him back towards the top. Prescott under pressure. He's rolling, throwing, wobbly to the sidelines. We've got a pretty young offensive line here, not going up against the best defensive line in the division. We've seen that one already today with Dexter Lawrence and Bosa. But with a 2nd and 10, Dak throws and broken up. Try to find Jalen Hyatt, leaving us with a 3rd and 10. Need to find about the 18 for the first down. Going up top and denied again for Hyatt. He wants the flag, but that was clean coverage. 4th and 10, got to settle for another field goal here, about a 45-yarder, and Elliott's 2 for 2. As we pull within 1, Jacksonville trying to re-separate, jumping in here at the 24 following a 27-yard grab for Hartwig. As their own tight end does that little zig motion. Dump off across the middle, Moore there. He'll pick up 6, leaving them with 2nd and 4. At the 18, that was the yard line we needed on the opposite side of the field. And again going with that zig motion. They hand it off this time, and they're not going to get the edge whatsoever. Robinson Jr. loses at least 2. So with a 3rd and 6, can our defense force that field goal attempt then? They're at the 20. Quick throw. T-Hawk gets the catch, but does not get the first. First snap we've actually seen from Kevin Byard. He's out there playing a little bit. We might have an injury then at safety. But a 4th and 1, the Jags stay on out there. As they go with a quick throw, they've got the first down. They find the big body man in Coleman. Going up against the 5'9", 5'10" at best safety in Waller. That's just a mismatch. 1st and goal here inside the 2-minute warning. They go quick swing out top. T-Hawk inside the 5. Both teams playing a close game here, though. Jaguars trying to find one more score this half. Burrow, he's set to throw. Back to T-Hawk, and he outruns Pittman. We'll make it 14-6, still with time for our offense. All we need is a touchdown and a 2-point try. We've gotten down to around the 25 2 times. We just haven't been able to finish off that drive. Prescott starting back here at our own 21 as we get a quick dump off. Gainwell out of the backfield, picks up 6. Gonna run a little bit of some hurry up, or actually I think we used a timeout there. We have 2 more remaining. We do get the first down there on the quick throw. Depending on how well we use the timeouts here, I might jump on in, but there we go. We find Hyatt this time. After that, we call that 2nd timeout. So we've got 1 more remaining. I'm gonna try to jump in after this play to make sure we use that last timeout well. As long as the team doesn't use it themselves. Dak Prescott, he's rumbling, sliding down safely inside the 35. And the Jacksonville Jaguars called the timeout there for us. So maybe they're trying to find a little bit of some more points themselves as we've got Hyatt into the end zone. The deep ball hits this time. That's the touchdown. Like to find the 2-point try here as well. So heading out here with a pistol set at the 2-yard line. Got to find those 2 points to tie this game up 14-14 as it's jump ball swatted away from Mingo. A great job from the Jaguars. 2-point team. But going through halftime, we are now driving. Jaguars obviously still in front here, 14-12. We could take a lead here if Prescott finds anywhere to go. Well, after waiting that whole time, you imagine he could have just stepped up and ran. Or honestly, at worst, just throw the ball away. He does there at the very end. We avoid the sack, 2nd and 10. As 2 go up top, we give a quick throw. Hyatt, just kidding. Once again, 41 with the big hit. Not sure if that is Spillane. I feel like he wears 41. Either way, we got a 3rd and 10 here. With a bunch up top, actually, we're going to make it an empty set here. As we motion out Gainwell, Prescott, the only guy here in the backfield, as he throws, and he finds DK. He is short of the line to gain. We'll have to settle for yet another field goal. And Elliott go 3 of 3, kicking this one about the 34. It's a 44-yarder right down the middle. And that will give us the lead, 15-14, but the Jaguars do not like that. Immediately driving down the field here. They're in plus territory. They got T-Hawk going back down towards the bottom. Burrow will throw. Gonna pick up about a gain of 9.5. Can't remember if it was the last episode or the one before I said that was Cooper Kupp. It is not. It's just another receiver that looks very similar to him that they drafted. 2nd and 1. Burrow, quick throw. T-Hawk with the glue on the hands. In baseball, you could have the umpire go check to see if the pitcher has any sticky substances to help get the pitches. Maybe we need to do that here in football. Check those gloves. 1st and 10, once again, zig motion. Burrow throws, setting up the underneath play every single time. That's one thing I would like to see more of from our defense, is to play a little bit closer in these coverages. We sit back too much. Burrow throws, taking advantage of it there. And as there is a Jaguar player injured on the play, we'll take that brief timeout to make some adjustments to this defense and force the coverage a little bit more towards the line of scrimmage. And wow, we rally on that run. Robinson does fall forward, maybe picking up about a yard or so. Down to the 2. They go back to the run game, diving, and we can't deny it. Ricochets into the end zone. Jaguars retake the lead. Good news is they actually tried a 2-point conversion, failed, and then DK pops off for 27 yards, first play of this drive, and we're going read option with Dak Prescott. Thank God he held on to that. Not sure if the Titans really run any of that with Will Levis. That might be left over from Willis, but don't do that anymore here, please. As we hand it off to Pollard, we'll gain some yardage. But I'm going to try to do my best after this game to check in on who 41 is. If he's a draftee, that dude is phenomenal. 3rd and 5, up top, it gets picked off. He tried to find DK. They failed the 2-point, but they're going to find a second touchdown. Pick 6. As the Jaguars take a wide lead here now in the 4th, thanks to Michael Carter. Now with the opportunity to break the loss-win streak with a 2nd straight loss, we're jumping out here offensively, try to see if we could help our team out. As we look deep for DK this time, Carter doesn't make the play. It is DK. A great bounce-back throw there from Prescott. And we are down just outside the red zone, going with a spread look here. And floating this one out, Gainwell catches up to it, out at the 3. Needing that quick answer, we are marching. Just got to finish this one off, and to the outside, slipping the tackle, and it is the rookie tight end / receiver in Allen Belton. Goes over the top of the pylon, and we tack one back. Now we just really need the defense to get a stop here for us. Gain of 3 goes Robinson Jr. Another gain of 3 to Whittington. They need 4 here on 3rd. And Jaguars do not get it. Kevin Byard knocks it away. That should be a punt. And indeed it is. Now as the OC refuses to call this offense like the way I would want us to, with about 4.5 minutes, we are jumping out here. As the line clears the way on the left-hand side, fantastic blocking Pollard with about 9.5. Well, obviously we want to drain as much clock as possible here. We also have to drive the length of the field, and we do need a touchdown. Gainwell, though, he's going to set things up for us. Great block downfield from Knox. The run blocking looking fantastic here to start this drive. And when you're trying to run clock, it's the perfect time to actually have the running game go to work here for us. Just outside 3 minutes left. Good double to backer. Setup was a little slow, but we do at least pick up 2 there as we're approaching the 2-minute warning. Go 2 receivers to the left, 1 out to the right-hand side. No one stays back to block, but we do find Hyatt sliding down to that grab. Well, that will carry us inside the 2-minute warning. Now, at this point, we don't need to chew as much clock because we still got about half a field to go here. But with those 2 minutes, we got to take advantage. As we go, Knox staying inbounds to make sure that clock does still move. We just want to make sure we're not leaving the Jacksonville Jaguars with too much time offensively. As Dak is making some changes here, approaching the 1.5-minute mark. Setting up a run to that right-hand side and not picking up the first. That time it was 31, not 41 making the big play. Got to make sure we pick up the about half a yard here. It's the goal line set. We hand it off to Foot, and the ball pops out. The lineman jumps on top of it. And maybe we don't rely too much more on the fullback to run the ball. We'll change up the look here. We got DK split in the backfield. As we'll look to set up a play, though Dak Prescott is rumbling, he will pick up about a yard. They call the first timeout there. Obviously still needing a touchdown here. It's 27-22 with about 43 seconds left in this game. As Prescott, he's got his receiver. It's out for Mingo. Dragged down at the 2. The offense will get back to the line here. Not calling the timeout yet. They hand it off. Pollard maybe back to the line. Second timeout called with 13 seconds. They really are trying to take up as much time as possible here, needing the touchdown to go ahead. Hard count, no one jumps. Prescott try to find the free play. Getting the snap, rolling, receiver gets open, and Hyatt with the go-ahead score. 10 seconds left. You're up by 1. Might as well make it a 2-point try here to make it a field goal game for safe. And essentially, you just got to run the same exact play, though they do go under center this time, changing up the look, though it's the slant to success. Metcalf makes it a 3-point game. Jacksonville has 3 timeouts, but with only 10 seconds, you maybe got 2 plays. Though Joe Burrow has his X factor here, and he just unleashed a demon throw all the way to the end zone. Well, no, they go with a quick slant to make that Hail Mary attempt a little bit closer. So with 5 seconds left, this is it. Please, DBs, no penalties. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. Joe Burrow, he's under pressure. Had to throw that early and tipped away. That is a win, a comeback win over the Jacksonville Jaguars, which will help try to pull us out of last place in the AFC South. But yet again, this is a close division. That win was massive. But that does put us in a really nice spot moving forward here from this point. Right now, if the season ended in week 11, where we are, we would be that 7th seed. We'd be in the wild card. So we are playoff chasing here, but we still have the division up for grabs. The Colts currently lead at 6-3. They had their bye before the Texans, who are 6-4. So the fact the Texans do have more losses, they are behind the Colts, but we are right behind both of them. So next time, we're going to get through a big stretch of this season. We got a week 13 bye, so we should be well rested for that point. But there is one thing that happened in that game. There was an injury, and that injury is pretty long lasting. Justin Woods broke his hand. He's going to be out for 6 weeks, so he will maybe be back for the week 18 game. And if we keep trading back and forth, loss, win, that week 18 game could be really important for us. But we do wrap out divisional games in week 14 coming off our bye. Now the Colts, we already beat them once this season. Another win and any sort of tiebreaker we have in the future against them, even if it goes down to week 18 with how close this division is, we'll have that tiebreaker on them. We already have the tiebreaker on the Jags. With that win, we sweep them on the season. So it's really just the Texans so far that we've had a loss against. We split that series. Next time, I really want to start to break this loss-win trading back and forth. Go on a win streak. Let's not make things crazy. And let's get the playoffs signed, sealed, and delivered before week 18. But before we go, I said I was going to check in on who this number 41 is. You probably thought I forgot. Peyton Wilson. He's out of NC State. He's in his 4th year. He's currently an 82, true 83, because he has some morale taking him down. But he's a star dev, so he was a rookie when we started. He's got a lot of speed. Yeah, he's definitely a sure tackler. He doesn't have good block shed, but he does have pretty good coverage ratings. So that kind of makes sense why he's always around the ball. He could hit hard. Yeah, we know that. He's a really impressive linebacker, currently ranked 12th in the league. But I gotta say, his head model does not match his player photo. Those are by far 2 different people. And as we look to wrap things up, we have not improved our pass defense with that trade. We have fallen even more to 28th. And our run defense has even dropped out of the top 10. We're now sitting league average at 16th. The good news is we have the 3rd best passing attack in this league. That is keeping us in these games. Make sure you stick around next time as we try to improve everything break the trading back and forth with the record. Let's put together a win streak. Let's claim this division and make our way to the playoffs for the first time in season 4. Hit the bear icon on the bottom right, scroll down to the sub button and tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. College Football 25, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 5 videos every single week and a lot of big games coming up. You don't want to miss it.